Harnessing the potential of women for economic growth and development has been identified as one of the top priorities of the Nigerian government to boost financial inclusion.
Top officials of the federal government disclosed this while exploring opportunities for empowering women and the girl child at a gender conference in Abuja.
Wives of top dignitaries as well as highly placed women in the society are at this annual Women and Girls Summit to reinforce the agenda for the protection of women and the girl child from economic vulnerabilities. Wife of Nigeria's President Aisha Buhari, who was represented, encouraged women to inspire their world through any profession they find themselves while harvesting maximum opportunity in the economy.
Many have said Nigerian girls and Nigerian women are drug addicts or drug pushers. Many have said all sorts of unsavory things about us. But today, I'd like us to take this home, that Nigerian women, we are great. But today, I want us to know that we must stand together. We must help one another. We must support one another.
We as mothers put our children to hawk on the streets, to sell tomatoes and bread, and you don't expect that your children will be abused and take drugs eventually, then we're here wasting our time. We must put policies in place for children and for the girl child that will protect the girl child from such abuses that will push her to drugs and from which she might never recover.
Other speakers say marginalized women and girls should be given an opportunity for economic empowerment to drive economic growth and development.
Girls have the right to a safe education and healthy life, not only during their critical formation year, but also as they mature into women. If effectively supported during their early years, girls have the potential to change the world.
Government to enact and implement a law against early marriage and withdrawal of girls from school for marriage. National Union of Teachers, NUT, to stipulate adequate sanctions for male teachers who sexually harass and abuse the girls.
Also speaking, Minister of Agriculture says the Buhari administration is constantly fighting to preserve the rights of the women, as the ministry has been directed by the president to set up facilities for farmers, especially women, to easily access credit.
Just yesterday, Mr. President gave us instructions to put in place facilities that will make it easier for farmers, industrialists, and women to access credit at one-digit interest rate.
At the end of the program, participants encouraged policymakers to ensure the implementation of resolutions targeted at women and the girl child.
A huge infrastructural deficit and lack of access to finance are part of problems causing lack of competitiveness for locally made and imported goods. Members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria in Ogun State made this known during a program on business financing. On her part, the representative of the Ogun State government, Funmi Ajayi, noted that the state is working with the Bank of Industry in the area of access to financing and that the partnership will help companies in the state survive the trying times. The managing director of the BOI, however, appealed to beneficiaries to pay back the money they borrowed on time in order to allow others benefit from the initiative designed to cushion the effects of hardship that manufacturers face in Nigeria.
The state of our roads is absolutely appalling. The number of hours we spend commuting from one place to the other, getting our raw materials into our factory, getting our finished goods out of our factory, with our containers, bringing goods into our factory, the lorries breaking down, the things also collapsing. So, we have this very serious major problem on the road network, and we do hope that the government will do something, about it.
Considering the current economic situation in the country, coupled with the high level of interest rate charged by the banks, which had made many companies to produce below capacity and cannot compete with other competitors, the window of opportunity provided by the BOI will actually launch ailing companies back to their feet.
Ideally, the loan should be revolving, and it is revolving. But if those that are taking it have not paid back, then it does not make the revolving ability of the loan to be as it should be. So we would we'll still continue to plead with those that have taken the loans that it's when you pay back that others can benefit from it.
The federal government has approved and directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to release 28 billion naira as budget support loan facility for 35 states. The government says it has also obtained a list of about 500 Nigerians with property trusts abroad who are underpaying taxes. State House correspondent Maria Olashendi reports that these were some of the decisions of the National Economic Council meeting.
This is the 82nd National Economic Council meeting, and it's always presided by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo as the chairman of the council, with governors in attendance. After the closed-door meeting, Minister of Budget and National Planning Udoma Udoma briefed journalists on the updates of the budget support loan facility. He said council approved the sum of 800 million naira to each of the 35 states of the federation as budget support loan facility for July and August.
Governors expressed appreciation to the federal government for the restoration of the budget support loan facility for July and August 2017.
He also gave an update on the economy, saying signs of recovery had been observed since the third quarter of 2016, and the recovery consolidated in the third quarter of 2017, with GDP doubling to 1.40%.
But there is also a need to focus even more attention on those areas that were not doing so well, such as manufacturing. It is only by firing on all cylinders that we will be able to achieve the 7% growth rate, which we plan and which is our target for 2020.
Council was also informed that a list of about 500 Nigerians with property and trusts abroad has been obtained to determine their tax compliance status at home. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun explained to Council that such Nigerians can take advantage of the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme V8 to settle past taxation defaults.
The scheme will offer an amnesty opportunity for all tax defaulters. That in the month of October 2017, the highest amount of VAT collection was recorded, standing at over 89 billion. She also added that the target is 120 billion monthly.
Council was also informed of questionable loans granted by some of the revenue-generating agencies.
Out of the 18 agencies that the audit was carried on, the committee had completed work on 13 agencies. The agencies that were audited included NIMASA, NMPC, MPA, FRS, MPDC, DPR, etc., etc. And those that are outstanding are Custom Services and NCC.
Council directed the committee to conclude its report under 4 weeks and fully report back to Council in the next meeting. Maria Olasheinde, TVC News, Abuja.